Hello, Pastor and Church. Thanks for having me do this video. I'm sorry I couldn't do it live. Our internet's really bad, so Pastor has sent me some questions, and I thought I would share them to you, give you the answers. Anyways, first of all, he wants to know which is the best hockey team, and I said the Leafs are, and I thought that was a funny question to ask Missionary, but anyways, we all, especially in Vancouver with all the Canuck fans, they know the Leafs are the best team. I hope you like a little laughter. Pastor, you can cut that out if you like. Okay, so greetings from Ireland. It's a beautiful day today. We have a sunny day, and but things are really different today in Ireland. So Pastor's given me a list of questions, and I'll answer them. First of all, he says, how are you and your family doing? Well, we're doing pretty good. My wife has health issues. Right now she's got her pain in her shoulder. She's also got costochondritis and various different ailments and heart problems. So we would appreciate that. Personally, my arthritis in my knees have been bad for about 3 or 4 months. They've been bad for a few years, but it's got really bad in the last couple of months. Appreciate prayer for that. So right now we have Joshua, Samuel, and Priscilla at home, and they're doing fine. So now he says, what's it like in Ireland during this pandemic, and how has Ireland responded? Well, starting in March, we basically went down into complete lockdown. You couldn't travel more than 2 kilometers from your home. You couldn't leave except for essentials like getting food. Our Garda, that's the police, Garda Síochána, Guardians of the Police, that's what they're called. They had roadblocks set up and checking. As a matter of fact, we live out in the middle of nowhere in the country, and they even had in front of our house a few days roadblocks stopping people, finding out where you're going, quizzing you, and just making sure everybody is obeying obeying what we've been told during this lockdown. So it's a little bit different. I go shopping, I'm stopped. Guards ask you where you're going, and you just have to tell them, I'm going to get my food. So it's been very, very different. Ireland's responded quite well. I think on the whole people are obeying the rules, and we've seen the death toll go down quite a bit. We have been hit very hard with this, and probably more deaths in Ireland than in all of Canada. So it's been pretty bad for us. So how's the pastor asked, how the current world situation affected your family? Well, this virus changed everything for us. Joshua lives in London and works in London, but he saw that the lockdown was coming in England as well as Ireland, so he flew back to Ireland, and he's now living at home and working from home. So he works on through our internet, which is very bad, but he manages to work through that. I don't know how long he'll be here for, but we appreciate him. He's made a new church website for us, which was a nice update. You can check it out, www.calvarybaptistcork.com, and you can look at that. Now Samuel lives at home, and he was working as a chemist doing research into tastes, but when the virus broke out, his company changed direction and started making hand sanitizers, so he was deemed essential service. So he works every day, but he drives about 30 minutes, and a lot of time he stopped even twice on the way to work, to checking where he's going, and he had to have a paper from his employment saying who he is and why he has to go to work. So it's been pretty serious. Thankfully he's able to work. Priscilla had started a internship. She's in third year university, and part of this university was to do an internship. She started for 1 week, and then the COVID got worse, and the university closed down her internship, and so now well, then she worked for a while. She's a coder and computers and all that, and so she worked a while for the company, just doing volunteer work. But then the government, the university stopped that. So right now she's at home and she doesn't know what's going on. She has to have this internship as part of her degree. So it's a big thing that we're praying about. For me, no visiting people, no going door to door, no doing Bible studies with people, one-to-one Bible studies in person. It's been a real change. My wife doesn't do the shopping. I go shopping once a week, and so it's been a real change for us. Okay, so Pastor asked, how has the pandemic affected the church? Well, basically, in the middle of March, the government closed down churches, and we're not allowed to gather together. We can only leave our home for essential things like food and medicine. So all our church meetings were canceled. We meet via the internet. It's not the same, but it's the best we can do. The government has done a staged lifting of this lockdown, and we're starting in stage 2, but that means that we still can't do much. And churches are allowed to start again meeting together after July 20th. So that's a Monday they chose, so it gives us, we don't go till the 26th. It's going to be still very stringent rules, 6 feet between people, or 2 meters actually. So we're going to have to space everything out, and we'll have a hand sanitizer, and thankfully it's the summer, so we can open the windows, and that will stop really the spread of things. So it's been difficult. One of the things for us is every summer we do a children's Bible club. This is a big thing for us. It's a real evangelistic tool in that we get about 30 children, but they're not children from the church, it's children from all over, and we've seen a lot of them saved. And but this year we've had to cancel it because it's supposed to start in August, but you know, it's pretty hard to run a children's Bible club when the kids have to be 2 meters apart, and how do you play the games, how do you do the crafts, how do you do the singing, and our building's not big enough to do that. It's just not going to work, so we're trying to figure out exactly what to do, praying about it. You can pray for us with that. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with the schools, so we are thinking that maybe when the schools start forward and then they have a break maybe in October, I don't know when, maybe we can run it then in the evening. So really would appreciate that. Okay, so what are you doing and how to minister to your people? Well, obviously we are still having services, though it's not together and we're not meeting together. We are having it over the internet, but I'm also doing phone calls, texts, games night, Skype, visits that way. It's certainly difficult and not the same, but try to reach out to our people and contact them and posting them things and things like that. Also started posting things on Facebook just to encourage our people. So, question, did you find it hard to transition to online services? Yes, it was certainly a learning experience. I'm not great with computers, and so I had to learn a lot of things, but we started out having church via Skype. We weren't prepared for this, and so we started doing it Skype, but then realized, well, what about visitors that would be coming to the church? So Joshua, as I said, gave us a new church website, and we started live streaming, but that didn't work because our bandwidth is so poor here, and we just couldn't upload it fast enough. So now what we've gone to is I'm recording the services, record the singing, record the prayers, record the Bible memorization, and record the sermon, put it all together, and upload it to YouTube, and then go live. Now, last week we went live at 11, supposed to, but YouTube didn't put it up till about 6 minutes after 11, so I think we lost some people there because it never just came up. So this week I'll make it go live at 11:15 and 7:15 in the evening. It's was difficult to transition, and there was definitely a learning curve, learning how to take videos, learning how to edit videos, learning how to upload, learning how to do Facebook, learning how to get a website going, and although Joshua made it, he made me learn all these things so that when he goes back to London I'll be able to keep it going. So it's definitely different. The services seem to get between 5 and 7 people that are not people from the church come each week. Reach out to them in the announcements and ask them to contact us, and we can send them a Bible or do a one-on-one Bible study over the phone or over Skype. So far we haven't had anybody respond, but we're still working at it, and so even the transition involved making a Facebook page. I was never much into social media at all, but so this is something that I've learned, and we're trying to get that and get people to share it. How do I feel church? How do you feel the church has responded during this time? Well, most have responded well, but sadly some, for some reason, have not been tithing. I don't know whether they're afraid to do it online or what's the story, but it's put the church in difficult financial position, very, very difficult. Also, we are a small church, and so we had to get the equipment and software and that, so it's put the church a bit of a bind there, but we're thankful for that. Okay, when do you anticipate returning to your physical services, and what will they look like? Well, we will, Sunday the 26th of July, we will start. We will have to have social distancing. What I was thinking is, as the first people come in, they sit to the front, and the next person sits 6 feet, and so we'll have somebody to the left, and then somebody to the right, and then back further somebody to the left, and it's going to be interesting to say the least. I expect maybe we'll just put a bucket at the back of the church for people to put their tithes and offerings in, and we'll probably dismiss the back row, then the next row, then the next row. One thing we won't be able to do that we used to do is collect people from church, because we won't be allowed to do that. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult as well. I'm not sure. I guess we just won't be able to do it till the government says we're allowed to. I'm not really sure about that. Do you think this virus will cause people to seek out the truth more? I really do. I think Ireland, up until, say, 1990s, was very, very Catholic. And then all the revelations about the things the priests had been doing, people went to be hedonistic and not even caring. And now we've got this, and I think it's making people think about their mortality, that they are going to die one day. And we can't go door to door, but sometimes things get delivered, and I give a person a tract and tell them to think about it, and they've indicated, yeah, they're thinking about these things. And even when I go to get the food, give people a leaflet, a tract, and try to get them to think, and it seems the response is better. Okay, prayer requests. Do pray that Bernadette and Priscilla do not get the virus. For them, it would be very serious. Bernadette has lung issues, and Priscilla had lung cancer, and so they would be in a very bad way if they got the virus. So I would ask you to pray that neither of them get this virus. Pray also for health issues for my wife and I. We're not old, but we're in our 60s, and the body starts complaining, and so we just need good health. So I'd appreciate that. I pray that there would be a great awakening in Ireland. A verse I've been claiming, it's a verse for Israel, but Jeremiah 24 verse 7 says, "And I will give them a heart to know me, that I am the Lord, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God, for they shall return unto me with their whole heart." And that's what I'm asking you to pray for Ireland, that God would give them a heart to know Him. God can change the heart, and God says, "And I will give them a heart to know me." So we need God to give the people of Ireland a heart to know Him, that I am the Lord, that they're not God, the Catholic Church isn't God, the priests aren't God, Mary's not God, only God alone is God, and they shall be my people, that they will truly be born again and saved, and I will be their God. No more false gods of religion and Catholicism, but that they would be saved, and God, they would be God would be their God, for they shall return unto me with the whole heart. And let's pray that when people get saved, they turn to God with their whole heart. Pray for fruit for the labor. We have distributed over 500,000 tracts and John and Romans and various things throughout the city, but we can sow and we can water, knocked on probably tens of thousands of doors, but only God can give the increase. And pray that God would take this seed that's been sown and give us fruit. Pray that people would visit the church through the various things that we have on the internet, our internet presence, and so we are very, very appreciative of all that you do for us, for your faithful support, and I just wish you God's blessing, and thank you very much.